Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. We are studying New Syllabus Mathematics Book 4 and it's chapter number 1, which is Graphical Representation of Inequalities. In the CIE syllabus, this topic is at number 23. Today we will study lesson number 7, in which we will discuss case 3 when graph with lines but no equations are given and you are asked to write the inequalities. So for this case we have to refresh our concept of coordinate geometry, chapter 6 D3 exercise 6C, in which 2 points were given and you were asked to find the equation of the line passing through those 2 points, or we will use the concept of rise and run from the graph to find the gradient. So to find inequalities from the graph, we will find the equation of each line and then we will replace sign of equality by sign of inequality as we did in the last lesson. To find the equation of the line from the graph, we will find the gradient by using the rise and run method or by 2-point method. Then we will find y-intercept from the graph or by using the formula. Y-intercept is the point where lines cut the y-axis. Then we will put these 2 values of y-intercept and m in this equation to find the equation of the line. Once the equation of the line is obtained, we can find the inequality by replacing the sign of inequality, the sign of equality with the sign of inequality, as we did in the last lesson. So after finding the equation, we can write the inequalities. If region above the line is defined and line is solid or dotted, then we will replace this sign of equality in the equation by this sign when line is dotted or this sign when line is solid. If region below the line is defined, then we will replace the sign of equality by this line when line is dotted and by this sign when line is solid. So this is the method of finding the inequality or writing the inequality from the graph. First we will find the equation of each line and then we will replace sign of equality by sign of inequality to write the inequality. So let's solve some questions from the exercise. This is exercise 1A, it's question number 3. Graph is given and you are asked to write the inequalities which define the unshaded region. This is unshaded region which is bounded by this line, this line, this line and this line. So there are 4 lines. Here graph is labeled. X-axis and y-axis are labeled. So we can use rise and run method. Let's see. Equation number 1 is this, which is horizontal line, and we know that the equation of horizontal line has only one variable, which is y, and its equation is y equal to the point where the line cuts y-axis. So equation of line L1 is y is equal to 4 and its inequality because the defined region is below the line and the line is solid. So this sign of equality will be replaced by sign of inequality, which is less than or equal to. Line L2 is this one and this line is passing through this point and this point. So we can use rise and run method to find the gradient of this, and this line is cutting the y-axis at this point. So this is C of this line. To move from this point to this point, we have to rise or run. From this point, when we will move downward and then we will move right side. So our rise is negative, which is -5, and our run is positive, which is +5. So its gradient is -5/5, which is equal to -1, and the y-intercept of this line is 5. C is equal to 5. For these values and y is equal to mx plus c to get the equation. Now replace this sign of equality with sign of inequality, because this line is solid and the region below this line is defined, so we will use less than or equal to sign to write the inequality of this line. Line L3 is passing through this point and this point, origin 0, 0. Its y-intercept is 0 and its gradient is from this point to this point. We will rise 1 unit downward and then we will run 2 units left side. Both rise is negative and run is also negative. Rise is -1 and run is -2. -1/-2 means it is 1/2, and its y-intercept is 0, because this line cuts y-axis at 0. So its equation will be equal to 1/2x plus 0. Writing the inequality, we will look at the line which is solid line and region above this line is defined region. So we will replace this sign of equality with sign of inequality, which is greater than or equal to. And for the fourth line, which is a horizontal line, vertical line, this line is vertical and it is passing through 0 region. And we know that the equation of a vertical line is x equal to the point from where the line is passing, because this line is passing through x is equal to 0, so its equation is x is equal to 0. And to write the inequality, because the region on the right hand side of this line is defined, so we will use greater than or equal to sign. So this is the way of writing the inequalities, by writing the equation of each line first. When x and y axes are labeled, we can use rise and run method, or you can use 2-point formula. Find the coordinates of this point and this point, and then use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We will do this in the next few slides. So this is 3b. Again the graph is given, x and y axes are labeled. This is the line, this is the line, this is the line, and this is the line. Again there are 4 lines which bound this defined region. Line L1 is this one. This line is passing through this point and this point. So we can write the equation of this by finding gradient and y-intercept. Y-intercept is this, because this line L1 is touching y-axis at 4. 4 is its y-intercept. To find the gradient, we will use rise and run method. From this point to this point, we will rise 4 units downward. So it means rise is negative and 4 unit on the right hand side. Run is positive. So rise is -4 and run is +4. M is rise over run, which is equal to -1, and its y-intercept is 4. Using these values in y is equal to mx plus c, we will write the equation, which is y is equal to -x, because gradient is -1, so it is -x plus 4. Now to write the inequality, we will look at the shape of the line. Shape of this line is solid and region below this line is defined, so we will replace this sign of equality with less than or equal to sign. Now second line is this one, which is horizontal line, and it is passing through 2. So its equation is simple. Horizontal line has only one variable, which is y. So equation of this line L2 is y is equal to 2. And inequality, because line is solid and region below this line is defined, so we will replace this equality sign with less than or equal to. And this is line L3, this one. This line is passing through this point and this point, which is origin. So it means this line is touching y-axis at 0, so its y-intercept is 0. And to find the gradient by using rise and run method, to move from this point to this point, we will have to rise 1 unit downward and then 4 unit on the left hand side. So in this case, rise is -1 and run is -4. We are moving downward and to the left on x-axis. So its rise is -1 and its run is -4, and final gradient is 1 over 4, and c is 0. Put these values of m and c in y is equal to mx plus c to get the equation, which is y is equal to 1 over 4 x. Now to write the inequality, we will see the shape of this line. Shape of this line L3 is solid and region above this line is defined. So we will replace this sign of equality with greater than or equal to sign. And this one is the line L4, which is passing through this point and this point on x-axis. So using the rise and run method, from this point to this point we will rise 4 units downward and we will run 1 unit to the left hand side. So our rise is -4 and our run is -1 for this line L4. Rise is -4 and run is -1 from this point to this and then this point. So its gradient is 4. Because this line is cutting y-axis at this point, which is 4, so its y-intercept is also 4. Using these values, we will write the equation y is equal to 4x plus 4. To write the inequality, we will look at the shape of this line, which is again solid, and region below this line is defined. So we will replace this equality sign with less than or equal to sign. So this is the way when on the graph x and y axis are labeled and you are given the lines, you can write the equation of each line by finding gradient and y-intercept. Gradient can be found by using rise and run method or by using 2-point formula. Line L1 is passing through this point. Coordinates of this point are x0, y4. Coordinate of this point are x4, y0. You can use y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1 formula, which we will discuss in the next example. This is the question from exercise review, exercise 1. It's question number 2, D part. Now look at this. In this graph, x and y axis are not labeled. We are given the points through which lines are passing. We will use here 2-point formula to find the gradient. Line L1 is this, which is passing through A and D. Because this line is cutting y-axis at this point, so this is y-intercept, which is 3. So we will use 2-point formula, A point and D point, because line L1 is passing through these 2 points. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is -4 over -3, is equal to 4 over 3 is the gradient, and its y-intercept is 3. This one. So its equation, putting these values of m and c in y is equal to 4 over 3x plus 3 to get the equation. And to write the inequality, we will look at the shape of the line, which is solid line, and region below this line is defined. So this sign of equality will be replaced by less than or equal to sign. Now this is the second line, L2, and this line is passing through these 2 points, A and B. Look, this line is not cutting y-axis at any point on the graph, so we cannot find C from the graph. So we will use method which we discussed in D3 exercise 6C. So these are the 2 points through which this line is passing. We will use these 2 points to find the gradient y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, which is minus 5 by 3. So its gradient is minus 5 by 3. Now to find C, we will use this value of gradient and the coordinates of any one of these 2 points to find the value of C. We will put x is equal to 3, y is equal to 7 and m is equal to minus 5 by 3 in this equation. Y is equal to mx plus C. Putting these values and simplifying, we get the value of C, which is 12. Now we will put this value of C and this value of m in y is equal to mx plus c to get the equation of this line. Y is equal to minus 5 by 3x plus 12. After writing the equation, we can write the inequality by looking at the line. Shape of the line, which is solid, and region below this line is defined. So this sign of equality will be replaced by less than or equal to sign. So this is the way to find the equation of the line when graph is not labeled and you are given the points through which that line is passing, and from the graph you cannot find the y-intercept. Now this line, name it L3, which passes through B and C point, and this line is cutting y-axis at some point. Because x and y axes are not labeled, so we cannot tell the coordinates of this point. We cannot find y-intercept of this line from the graph. We will calculate y-intercept by the same method which we have used to find m and c for line L2. Because line L3 is passing through B and C points, using 2-point formula y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1, we get minus 2 over 5, minus 5, because both are negative, so final gradient is positive 2 over 5. Now we will put this value of m and any coordinates of any one point in y is equal to mx plus c, because this point has y in it, so we will use this, which will make our calculation easy. Putting x is equal to 1, y is equal to 0 and m is equal to 2.5 in this equation, we get the value of c, which is minus 2 by 5. So using this value of c and this value of m in y is equal to mx plus c, we can write the equation, which is this one, y is equal to 2 over 5x minus 2 over 5. Now replace this sign of equality with sign of inequality, because this line is solid and region above this line is defined region. So this equality sign will be replaced by greater than or equal to sign. And this one is the last fourth line, which passes through D and C points. And this line also cuts y-axis at this point. So y-intercept of this line is 3. Using D and C points, we will find the gradient 3 minus 0, 0 minus 1, which is equal to minus 3, and its y-intercept is 3. Using these two values in y is equal to mx plus 3, we get the equation of this line. And by looking at the graph of this line, shape of the line is solid and region above this line is defined region. So we will replace this line, this sign of equality, with greater than or equal to line. So this is the way of writing the inequalities from the graph. So there were 4 lines. You have to find the equation of each line and then replacing sign of equality by a sign of inequality. So we have discussed 3 cases, case 1, case 2 and today case 3. In the examination, you may be given a question in which you have to apply all the 3 cases. So watch this lesson carefully, try to understand, and then solve some questions as your homework. This is your homework. मनोसलवा नाजल हो रहा है ऊपर से. Exercise 1A, question number 3 CD, and review exercise 1, question number 2 E and F part. Again, I'm Zahid Hussain. my WhatsApp number and email address is this. You can send me your problems at this WhatsApp number, or email me to this address for any suggestion of your problems. Practice. Practice makes knowledge perfect. In the end, dua for you and your family. Allah bless you all in this month of Ramadan and the years to come in your future life. Allah Hafiz.